Maybe it's because it starts on Boxing Day, or perhaps that it has a reputation for being brutal, or even because it's one of the oldest offshore races in the world. The chances are that it's all of them. Because whatever it is, every year the Rolex Sydney Hobart Race attracts global attention. And the 80th edition of the race was no different. As the race got underway, 129 boats crossed the start line for their 628-mile Christmas quest to Hobart.
You could go all over the world, and anybody that knows anything about ocean racing just sees the Rolex Sydney Hobart as being the race they want to do if they haven't already done it.
The Rolex Sydney Hobart is one of three, I think, events in Australia that's iconic. Ever since I was a 5-year-old kid, I'd watched the start of the Sydney Hobart, watched the Melbourne Cup and the Bathurst car race. And for me, just to be part of any of those has always been a dream because they've just been so interesting.
The start was classic as the annual Sydney Harbour spectacle got underway. Law Connect was looking to defend last year's win as they held off Masterlock, Comanche and Lucky on the sprint through Sydney Harbour. But while the Super Maxis were always bound to steal the show, the racing in the fleet behind was as intense as ever. But for one team, the race was over before it had started. Yendes broke her backstay shortly before the start and was forced to retire. Others, like SHK Scallywag, were playing it safe, performing a 720-degree penalty turn in case they were faced with a protest later on. Strong southerlies and big seas were forecast for the opening stages of the race, and once they headed out into open ocean, that's what they got.
It's shaping up to be, one of the tough ones, and that's how we know the Sydney to Hobart. You know, there's always something in there that the weather throws in there that's going to make it hard for us. So all the crews are going to have to be very resilient.
As the fleet beat down the Australian coast, it was Masterlock Comanche that led the charge, but only just. Law Connect was nipping at her heels the whole way. Scallywag was next in line, and with the 88-footer Lucky lying in 4th place on the water. The fetch across the Bass Strait did nothing to change the pecking order. But the run down the Tasmanian coastline saw the race tighten up, with the 3 Super Maxis and Lucky close the gap on Comanche. But by the finish, and despite having occasionally lost out to the competition, the big red Super Maxi had regained the lead to take line honours with a time of 2 days and 5 hours.
Amazing scenes here on the Derwent River. The crowd at Kings Pier getting very excited. You can see the finishing line. Only a matter of metres now. You can see the yellow finishing buoy just off the bow.
She really hasn't messed around. One jibe and they're in. Here she comes. Bow down in full pressure. There's the finishing buoy off Castray Esplanade. Leave that to starboard.
A moment to savour for Masterlock Comanche. This boat takes its 5th line honours victory. Magnificent performance by James Mayo and Matt Allen.
An impressive win, but 20 hours off the overall record, which this boat had set in 2017.
It's fantastic. What an exciting race. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen such an exciting battle for line honours in the history of the race. You know, to have so many boats so close for such a long period of time, and for the lead to change a few times only this morning, it's fantastic.